everybody, welcome back to the mini Gorjuss album. It's February and so it is time to do my spread for February. So if you'll remember, this is my layout for January. We're going to move on to this one here, and this month I have chosen this gorgeous little girl. She's so cute. She is number 57 Little Heart, and I think it's worth noting that although she is the mini stamp, look how much bigger she is than the original minis. So she's a big girl, and I kind of had something in mind, but it's not going to work, so I'm going to have to rethink what I'm going to do with her. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to pick a little sidekick for her, like this little girl has here. And I have this that's about, I don't know, like 2 years old, maybe 3 years old even, which I have never, ever, ever opened. Okay, it's so silly, it's ridiculous. So we're going to use our stash, and this is how little he is. So he is perfect for the size of her, and just gorgeous. I love how he's blowing heart bubbles. So he's going to be her little companion. So if you think about, the stamp is there, her little companion's there. It's not going to leave much room for anything else. Although I also was hoping, this is another one that I have never used. Again, I bought them on the same day. Never used that. So this is a balloon, a bunch of balloons. So I'm hoping that behind her back, see how she's got her hands behind her back? So behind her back, she's holding some balloons that she's going to give to her little friend. And as a result, he's going to blow her a heart bubble. I think that is so cute. So this is what my head is thinking. Let's now try to bring it together. So I get started by grabbing some white cardstock. This is my American Crafts. And I'm just going to die cut the set of balloons and little elephant, and I'm gonna die cut 2 of these. I always like to have 2 just in case something goes wrong, and I'm just gonna pop out all the annoying little bits here with my pokey tool. I really like the look of that intricate balloons. Next thing I'm gonna do is stamp out the girl. So I've got this watercolor paper that I buy from Riot Art. It's 225 GSM. It is the perfect paper that I use to watercolor. Takes the archival ink really well, and I'm just using my mini stamp press thing here, and I'm going to just do a whole row of girls, might as well, while I've got the stamp out. I have decided to watercolor her. It is my go-to method of coloring. First thing I do is always go for the skin color. I get that out of the way first, just put on a light layer. Next thing I'm going to do is do the features of the dress, choosing the color palette that I want to do. The first thing that goes down is a really light color, and then I go back in after the color has faded with the dark, with the same color, but it's going to be darker now, and just go around the edges and any details. Same with the stockings. I do the light first and then go back in once the color has faded around the edges. Next is the bow on her hair, and I do try to go back a little bit on the skin and add a little bit of darkness around the face so that it gives the roundness. I decided to make her like a really, really reddish brunette, really pretty. I really love this girl. The way she's got her hands behind her head, the way she's kind of tilting her head, she is totally adorable, and I'm trying to get good at those cheeks. I wanted to do like a pretty sunny dress, so I wanted to do a yellow. So the first thing that goes down is just a nice color of yellow. The next thing I'm going to do is go in with a little bit of like not brown, but really like a yellowy brown, and just go around the edges and darken it up just a little bit to accent the yellow dress. Always put in dark, it's really important. And yeah, she is done, and she then gets fussy cut out. The next is little elephant here. He is going to be pink, just like the packaging. So he gets a very, very, very quick light color of pink. And then I go back in with the same color, but now it's going to be stronger, and I'm going to go around the edges first, and then I'm going to think of the areas that are like valleys. So whatever is deep or in crevices or in valleys, they're going to be darker, and whatever is in mountains or sticking out like a nose or something like that, they're going to be lighter, so they should be kept out of the dark. So I'm just doing that here. There are some little cutouts when you cut him out that are for his hoofs, so I'm just attaching them now, and I'm making them really, really dark. He's done, looking really cute. So the next thing will be the balloons, just checking out how they look, and they're great. My elements are beautiful, and the balloons, I want to put them behind her like that, and they're going to be like just an addition of color, no shading whatsoever. So one color for every balloon: yellow, blue, green, orange, and red. And for the strings, I decided to do them like a light brown, like as if she was holding balloons on twine. You don't see very much of them. They're just going to go behind her head there. So that's looking really good. So my elements are done, and now I have to think of the background. I didn't want to paint a background like I did in the first one. I wanted to show you another way of creating a background piece. So I have this napkin of like, I'm thinking it's like Tuscany. I'm gonna say it's that. And I think it's perfect. I love the yellow field of flowers. So I'm just trying to position the scene here, and I'm going to remove, you know, a napkin always has 3 layers, so remove the bottom 2 layers, and then I'm just going to add some washi tape and some protective tape so it doesn't ruin the previous artwork. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have it there. That looks really good. I didn't want it this way because the tree goes in the middle, which is the same design that was January's layout, and I didn't want that, so I will go with that previous. Now I'm adding Mod Podge down, a nice thick layer of Mod Podge, and then I'm going to be really quick about adding this down, making sure that there are no crinkles. And then adding a layer of the Mod Podge on top so it seals it. I'm now just going to cut apart the excess and then really trim up the edges so that it looks joined with the previous layout. Alrighty, so that is looking so gorgeous, except that it totally clashes with the girl, and the girl gets lost in the background, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the balloon and the girl are one piece here, so she just gets attached to the balloon. And little Ellie is there, and he also looks like he's lost. So you need to break out your gesso, and you're going to dry brush over this beautiful scene. I know it's painful, but you know it's so necessary. So it just a little bit of white. It doesn't take away the background, but it sure makes her pop. I also didn't quite like the houses in the back there. I liked them, but I didn't like that they were so obvious. So once again, I'm just gonna recede them, like totally recede them into the background. And really what I wanted was that field of yellow flowers, and yeah, they're beautiful. So then what I do is I grab some of my Dina Wakley scribble sticks, and just with a damp brush I'm going to smooth that over. I'm going to do the same thing with the blue for the sky and just mix that in really nicely, not too wet, just applying a little bit of shade, bringing the blue from the left layout onto the right layout and just mixing it all together. Next thing I'm going to do is, yes, I know I've just added color, but I just wanted to add like a haze to the layout. The next thing I wanted to do here was just add a little bit of yellow on top of the scribble stick green to make it look like the yellow of the field of daisies or whatever was more natural than that. And then I added another dry layer of gesso. It's just different layers, and it just makes it look more organic than pretty perfect scene.
I then ink the edges of the girl with a little bit of black, and she goes on. Same with elephant. He gets inked edges with black just so that he pops out. And he goes on as well, looking very cute. And they are so noticeable now in the foreground. They're not drowned out by the background. The elephant is blowing heart bubbles, I suppose, and what I did was these hearts, I colored them in with the Nouveau paints, color drop paints, and I put on quite a thick layer so that they popped out of the page. So they're a bit tricky to pick up, but they are beautiful. And I did go with 2. I thought that he loved her so much he gave her 2 heart bubbles. The next thing is I get these clipping stickers by Tim Holtz, and I take a little bit of time here thinking, what am I trying to say? I wanted to do like little things are the most joy, or something like that. Little things give you the most joy. But you know what? In the end, I went with and let it fly away. I thought that was nice and abstract. We've got balloons there, so maybe we're letting the balloons fly away. Maybe the hearts that he's blowing represent the love in his heart, and he's just gonna let his heart out and let it fly away and give his love to his friend. I'm gonna leave that abstract, and I'm gonna leave it to the viewer to decipher that however. But I wanted to go with something not so cutesy, like give our love to our friends, or you know how these stickers can sometimes be so cutesy, and I did cutesy before, and I thought I'd do a little bit more abstract this time. I'm now grabbing my Tombow bullet marker, and I'm just edging and just scribbling and doodling and making it more my own than just stuff stuck on stuff. You know what I mean? I'm now incorporating it and gelling everything together so it looks like an artwork and not just stuff slapped together. I'm also going around the hearts. I'm doodling around the trees. I've got my white Signo pen is going to come out here, and I'm going to doodle daisies in the field of yellow flowers. I'm also going to do swirls in the black grass that turned into like heart looking grass in the end, which I love because he's blowing heart bubbles anyway. The white gel's also going to doodle in trees. The little elephant is also going to get some highlights again in the mountain areas, where like around his cheeks and around his trunk, and just adding lots of little detail, making it really painterly, making it more abstracty and more art journal-y. So I'm just bringing you in for a little bit of a close-up. You can see the brush strokes of the gesso in the background there. You can also see where I doodled with the black pen in the trees and the bottom there, and the white gel pen in the field of yellow. You can see what it looks like next to the January layout. You've got 2 totally different looks. I love art journaling. I can't wait to flip through this book at the end of the year.